Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks so much for popping in today. As always, lovely to spend time with you, and I'm very grateful that you do pop in and spend time with me. I hope you're feeling okay. I'm a bit under the weather today, so if I go a bit quiet, you'll know why. But you know what? It happens to all of us. You know, we have good days, we have bad days, don't we? But the beauty of it is I can still craft. And today I'm going to do, it's a design we've done so many times, panel cards. Panel cards have been around since, well, I think they were probably one of the first cards to be made, what with that and embossing. They're our go-to favourites, aren't they? But it's nice. What I love when I get new stamps sometimes is to go to older designs that I'm used to doing just to refresh it by using one of my new stamps. And I must admit, at Christmas, it's probably the time I make the most cards. I don't know about you. Make birthday cards all year, you know, but Christmas, batch card making comes into play. And this is just such a lovely design to batch card make, and you can mix it up. As you know, I get bored. It's terrible, isn't it? But trying to do the same thing twice. So we've got the card here, look, and I'm using a DL card, a lovely slimline card. And I've gone for a bigger design today, but you could also, for those of you ladies, and I know lots of you have been in touch, and gentlemen that have smaller card designs, you could just crop this. So if you had an A6 card, you could just make a smaller version. And that's the beauty of this. You just take the inspiration and fly with it. But I must admit, I love DL cards, the slimline cards. I think they're so elegant. But as I say, you can mix the colours up, you can mix your stamping up, oh, just run with it. And we've got the envelope as well. And I just think that would be a lovely card to receive. So I'm going to put this over here. And I'm going to start with a piece of our Multifarious card. And this one is 3.5 inches by 7.5. And I'm going to make myself my lovely panel. Now, I don't know if you noticed on the original card, for me, I don't have the panel quite in the middle. Just, I like to offset it slightly, but that's just me. If you want it in the middle, you bring in your beautiful Lavinia low-tack tape. Well, in fact, we'll do this one in the middle just so we can see the difference. That would be good, wouldn't it? You will get a larger panel, so just take it, the width of the tape, going down. Now what I did on my other was just add another stretch of tape, but we'll see. Again, there's me, like I say, doing it slightly different. And we're just going to bring some ink in. So I've chosen, again, choose 3 colours, and so many varieties work so well. I've gone for Greensleeves, and I like this because it's quite a yellowy green. Confetti, our lovely pink, and the blue Atoll. So, as always, I'm going to take the lids off, and you know me, I'm a bit funny. I put them in the order that I'm going to use them. And I'll come in first, and I'm just going to grab a piece of my kitchen towel because I don't want to put mucky finger marks on this before we start. And I'm going to come in with my Greensleeves at the top. So again, I'm dabbing it off in the lid. And don't worry about your blending. This is just getting some ink on your card. And I'm going to come about 1/3 of the way down. Right, I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to move that up there. Well, actually, it's easier for me to turn it round, but I'm just going to go to a slightly different place on my mat to where I've got my green ink, and we'll come in with my blue Atoll. Now, I've on my second ink pad with this colour because I use it so much, so this is going to be very juicy. But like I've said before, you know your own ink pads, so I'm being mindful with this. But to be honest, I love this deep colour at the base. But I've got plenty on my brush. Look, I could come quite a way up here. I don't need to dip that again in the ink. Again, so juicy. And then we've got space in the middle to come in with our confetti. And I'll bring that in from the side and across the middle. Again, from that side and across the middle. And at first, it will look a bit like that. A bit like a, you know, Eric's lunch or a dog's dinner, as we say here. But I'm just going to blend. I think I want a bit more pink into this blue. Let's make a purple. Just take a little bit up into the green there. I don't want to overblend, but I just want that nice. I just want a bit more pink here. I want it to show up pink. Right, happy with that. And at the end of the day, remember, it's just a background. So really important to put your lids on, because otherwise, you know what will happen? Well, certainly me, I'll be putting my elbow in there, and let's just give this a wipe, just with a damp cloth, and then a not so clean inky binky. Nearly Christmas, get my new one out. And what we'll do now, we'll add some stamping. And for my stamping, I've chosen my Versafine Clair colours to match. So, and I always do this, so for my Greensleeves, I've teamed it up with Verdant. For my lovely pink, I've gone for Charming Pink. And then for the blue Atoll, I'm teaming it up with Warm Breeze. And that's just the way my head works. I like to sort of team them up. And we'll start with the Verdant, I think. And we'll come in with one of our larger snowflakes. And I just love the way that we can bring such magical colours to these snowflakes. I mean, they do look beautiful white. They look lovely with white embossing powder on. But I just think, you know, let's have some colour for a change. I mean, you could put embossing powder. You could emboss them on your panel. But make sure your inks dry first. Otherwise, your embossing powder will stick to this ink. So we've just stamped 2 in the Verdant. And now we'll come on to our smaller snowflakes. And we'll put the Verdant to one side and we'll come in with the lovely Charming Pink. And again, I'm being random, but obviously we know random isn't easy, is it? And I want to stamp some lovely snowflakes, but I don't want to over fuss the design. So I'm just going to put one down here. And I'm actually thinking on this one, I'm actually going to add another larger snowflake in pink. Just a hint of, I think here. Yeah, I like that. And again, just take your time. Just have fun. Right, giving that a wipe and put that back. So I want another smaller snowflake now. And I'm going on to the Warm Breeze. And sometimes it's nice, look, to have them overlapping a little. When we tend to do random, if we're not careful, we space everything out. But it's nice to actually have almost some clumps. I mean, when you go out in the snow, we do get that, don't we? So let's just have one here. And then I think if we have that one overlapping there. Right, fun. I don't know if you can hear Eric sat as normal under my desk and he is snoring. So if you can hear anything, it's Eric. Now, I'm going to team this up with, we've got a lovely set of original, I'll call them original. Their actual name is just Snowflakes, but in my head, because they are my original set, and it's beautiful, 2 little snowflakes, look, and then a cluster of 3, but I love these. So I'm just going to add a couple of these in the Warm Breeze. Again, it's nice to have them off the page. Maybe one just there. Second generation there, lovely. And then I'm going to come in with a deeper blue, and this is my Twilight. And I love this little snowflake in Twilight. And it just fills in those spaces. Remember off the page. Now we want one at the top, don't we? I know, I think actually one would look nice in pink at the top. So if you bear with me, I'll just give that a wipe. I do this, I change my mind. I just think we've got quite a lot of blue there, look. And if you look, I think some pink would really brighten up that area. So perhaps over stamping. See, I don't want there because that looks like a line. Yeah, there. Yeah, I like that. It's really brightened up that. And that to me looks a nice design. I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is, that's our permanent stamping done. So we'll give it a blot, as you know. And then we'll just flick some water for a bit of faux bleaching. So I've got my fan brush in my water pot. Obviously this won't affect the permanent ink. It will just faux bleach that lovely Elements ink that's in the background. And I can get rid of this. And again, depending on how much faux bleaching you want, how white you want that card, you can just come in with your kitchen towel and give it a bit of a blot. I just think it gives you a lovely mottled background behind those snowflakes. And what I tend to do now is use my heat tool. And this is the crafting heat tool that's got a wide nozzle, look. So it's for heating card, drying paint, and it's fabulous for drying ink. But also I'm going to use it for two things. It will help dry the card, the water we've just put on, but also my low tack tape and Lavinia is fabulous. It's brilliant low tack, but it will just help to lessen that adhesive. So it will peel off like butter, honestly. It literally, as you're using it, as you start to heat, you'll see your low tack tape starts to literally just peel off. So for me, it's two uses. It's drying my lovely card design, but also it's just lessening that glue on the low tack tape. So always from the back as well. And then this will just look beautiful. And I always love that bit. It's a bit of a ta-da moment, isn't it? Now we want a little bit of glitz on here. So I'm going to add some of our beautiful Star Brights holographic glitter. And I'm going to use a two-way glue pen, and this is the Zig two-way glue pen. And I need to tell you about this because I've been using it a lot recently, and a couple of ladies have messaged and asked why it's two-way. And the reason it's two-way is because it can be used as a permanent bond or a temporary bond. So the important things to remember, the glue, it's not easy to say this. The glue, when it's wet, it's blue. When it's dry, it's clear. So if you want a permanent bond, you pop your glue on. While it's blue, it's a wet adhesive. Add your glitter, that's a permanent bond. If you want a temporary bond, you use a light application. You wait till it goes clear. Use it as a glue then, but that's a temporary bond. And that's why it's called the two-way. So we want to use it as a permanent bond, so we're going to use it straight away. Now, when I say straight away, obviously you don't have to do one dot at a time. I've got enough time to put all my dots on my lovely snowflakes. And again, this is why it's important for my card to be dry. And I don't want too much, but I love this holographic glitter. So I'm just dotting various places on my snowflakes, look. In the middle, and then just a few around the edges. And I don't know if you can just see the little glints there. So straight away, and I'm going to cover it like you do with all my lovely glitter, because I'll be putting it back in, won't I? I like to empty the jar. And then I just give it a good tap its bottom. And then I've got a clean brush here. And again, I just like to give it a good tap so that I know that any of that glitter that's just stayed on due to static, I only want the glitter to be there where I've added the glue. Now, in the middle of that snowflake, I've missed that, so I'm just going to add, I know this is a bit sad, but I just want a little bit of glitter in the middle of that snowflake. It'll annoy me if I've missed the middle of that snowflake off. There we go, look, I needed to get that. Beautiful, and look at that. So as I say, so that's our permanent bond now. And we'll tap all that back in there, all that lovely glitteriness. And it always amazes me, look, I have to shake the pot because there seems to be so much that goes back in. I don't know about you, I brush every little bit back in that pot and put the lid on straight away because I don't want to be knocking that over. And there we go, that's our beautiful design. Now, when it comes to the sentiment, I'm going to use the Christmas greetings. And I must admit, I save, I don't know about you, but every little strip of card that comes off when I cut my card, I save them. And what I've started doing is when I stamp my sentiments, I might as well stamp quite a few. So I've got a little tin now. So when I'm making a card, my sentiments are there, ready stamped up. And they're from the Christmas greetings. So for this card, I'm going for Merry Christmas, and I've just stamped a couple of the snowflakes, look. And I'm going to stick it here. And I've put some little foam pads on the back. So, as is will, I'm just taking off the back little bit over the bin. I promise I'm not doing it over Eric. But you know what these are like? They stick to your fingers, don't you? Now, I must admit, one tip, I always get my bippity boppity glue. And I just put it a little bit on my foam pads because it gives me wiggle time. You know I have these funny. Now, we could put this straight on or we could put it offset. For this one, we're going to put it straight on because the other one I did, I offset. Now, a little tip, if there's a certain part of your card you're not keen on, put your sentiment over it. But I just like it sort of 2/3 of the way down. So if we bring in the original, just to have a little look at the difference. So this one, we've got a slightly larger margin there. That one's in the middle. And I didn't think I liked the middle, but I quite like it now I've done it. Oh, I don't know which one I prefer. But that's the thing. I think I'll probably make both. And then at least I don't get bored then. Now, if you want to add some Posca snow, you can. As I say, change your colours of ink. But I just think it's such a pretty card. I might actually add little dots of glitter just in the middle of those snowflakes as well, just as that little finishing touch. So I think I'll just go away and do that now. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you have a go. Think of all the stamps you could use. I love panel cards, and this has just reinvigorated me with my new snowflakes. So you have fun. I'm off now, but I feel like I need a coffee. So you take care. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.